What's up, guys? On this week's show,
I feel like I just heard this.
people call you a monster too.
And sorry, not sorry?
All that and more on this episode
Of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OG LFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared. And with me are my co-hosts, Sexy Lexi.
What's up?
And DJ Melly Mel.
I think my catchphrase is about to change.
All right, now before we
sorry.
get started, I want to let you know, if you enjoy the show, tell some friends about us. Share us on your social media, whatever you choose to do. Just know that you're helping us let others know about the best damn podcast they probably never heard of. Now, if you want to talk to us, the show is on Twitter at Giant Leap, the number 4 Geeks, or you can get a hold of our resident DJ Melly Mel at Froggy Beaver. What you been doing in the universe? I was like, I need something else to go.
I would say I like that whole high-pitched 80s synthesizer thing you had going on.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the Flash Gordon theme song.
Yes.
Queen.
Yes.
Flash.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum. Sorry. Anyway, what you been doing?
Well, let's see. My mind just went blank. What have I been doing?
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn. No.
Listeners, you are hearing a live stroke.
Oh no!
Right? This week was pretty uneventful. We had Halloween last week. That was exciting. Kind of, sort of. We had 6 whole trick-or-treaters.
Hey, at least you got some. We didn't get
And they were all teenagers. And I don't even remember if they were in costumes or not. I just remember coats and
It's just
gloves.
like your neighbor just knocked at y'all got some candy.
Well, I mean, I just remember coats and
Free-for-all.
gloves and
Right.
like a pillowcase open. Hey, trick or treat! And I was like, all right, whatever. It was cold out. It was like 30 degrees here, and I actually threw together a different outfit other than the one that I wore for the podcast. I was tired of cleaning glitter up out of my house. So the Jester costume got put in the costume bag because every time I moved, it shed glitter.
I'm still finding it in the house.
Yeah.
And a vacuum.
I'm still finding it as well, and I have also swept and vacuumed the whole house, so it's never ending. But no, I threw together this 80s girl outfit, which worked because I didn't have to buy anything.
Nice.
I had everything already.
The costumes that you don't have to purchase a lot for are the best costumes.
I never buy anything for my costume. Well, very little.
Sure.
Creative like that. So we still
bag.
have a bowl of candy at the house. Somebody was not home this weekend to help me eat it, and I've been trying to keep it out of sight, out of mind.
Sure.
You know how that struggle goes.
I do.
Other than that, we have been preparing for our adventure this weekend. I will tell you all about it next week. But
she survives.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna have
Right.
some cool pictures, so I might have to tag the show in them so our viewers can see some of those. Viewers? Do we have viewers? Probably just listeners.
I mean, if you watched videos on YouTube, I mean, it's just a static image, but
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, our followers. That
There
would
you
probably
go.
be
There
better
you go.
because we have people that see us on Instagram. We have people that see us on our static videos. We have people that listen to us. So yeah, our followers. They
Starting
can.
a cult.
I don't like that one. But anyway, I'll have to put them on the Instagram so that our followers can see my adventures. What about you, Sexy Lexi? What have you been doing?
Hold on, let me figure out where to start.
Damn.
Well, I mean, I met some new people this weekend.
Mhm.
A little bit older, but it was really fun.
Why you gotta be ages?
I don't know.
She's like, oh.
I don't know. I mean, they are older than me, but I mean, because I
She
was like
said-
one of the youngest people there. But it was
smell like prune juice. And
no,
Bengay.
no. I
They were
went
the
to...
ripe old age of DJ Melly Mel and Mike.
Right.
Yeah, oops. Okay. My bad. Didn't mean to age y'all.
Shots fired.
No, I'm sorry. I went to this baking store company, whatever. I think it's called M Street, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. M Street Baking Company.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's really nice. It's really pretty. Good scenery. It's really sweet. But I got one of their milkshakes, and I do recommend to get one because it's really, it's really sweet, but it's really good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a local Michigan thing or not, but if you
I'm
have
sure.
a M Street Baking Company
Yeah,
in
you
your
better.
town, go there.
Yeah, because it's...
Especially if you're a stoner, too, because when I saw what the milkshakes looked like, I was like, oh, that is some high shit. There's, cupcakes on top of cookies on top of cotton
candy. I had a whole
in
ice
the
cream
milkshake.
cone in my milkshake. I had a whole ice cream cone.
I
Had a cupcake, cotton candy.
I would need a baby size.
Nah,
I
I'll make it
think-
work.
I honestly don't think it comes with a size because when we ordered, there was no size.
like, this
You
is what
get
you
what you get.
Oh my god, I would die.
Yeah, there was no size.
Share it.
Yeah, that's what I did. I shared mine.
Have to.
Because I couldn't. No, kid you not. I got mine at right when we got there, and then maybe 20 minutes later or so, they had this group of family, and this little kid had ordered the same thing as me. And I turned back around because they were sitting right next to us. He finished all of his, and I barely had the top of mine gone.
Dear God.
He ain't gonna sleep for weeks. He is gonna be just
Yeah.
bing, 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 bing.
I was
bing,
like,
bing.
how you did that? Can you share? Can you help me out?
When you're a kid, you just have a black hole for a
Yeah.
stomach.
I
so
would
you
say
can
that's
eat
eating the
anything.
banana splits at Tony's, though. That thing is...
Yeah.
But yeah, he finished. He wiped me out. He beat me. And just
Damn.
He ate it. There was nothing left. I'm like, I still got half this cotton candy left. Still a cupcake
I
left.
think he might have ate the cup too. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I'm I don't know. It was really good though. Really sweet, but really, really good. And that was fun because I've never heard of that place. Never been there. So it was pretty nice. What else did I do? I feel like that's it. Yeah, I feel like that's it.
I feel like it's not,
I
but
feel like it's it.
I feel like that's all you're going to
What
share
about
with us.
you?
She's like, yeah. Anyway, Mike, what you?
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm pretty sure we recorded during my week off. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, we did.
yes, we did.
And I
nice.
think I talked about it. I was a bit under the weather at the time, and
Because I made the joke about spraying you with Lysol, and
Yep.
you're always sick when you go on vacation.
pretty fucking much. And so, since I had just been bedridden, basically, and didn't do really much of anything of note the whole time, I just ate, literally everything in sight. Now, again, for those who may not have been listening, or those who have, your host has been on a Goku training montage at 100 times Earth's gravity and shit, and I have been doing really good, but this week when I was off and I wasn't feeling well, I backslided real
I think
bad.
it was just the week. Because
It could've been.
I had been eating pretty healthy as well. Not quite to the extent of what you and Atrine have been doing.
Sure.
But, I started to add flaxseed and more salads and less carbs and way less sugar. And then
See,
I ate 7 hand-sized pierogies.
Oh, shit.
That were homemade. And
Nice. I was gonna say, where the fuck you get a pierogi that big from? But
yeah, a friend of ours home makes them.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't know, pierogies are basically an egg noodle stuffed with potatoes.
pretty much, yeah.
But he took it to the extreme, and he had they were
Like
as
meat in
big
it?
as my hand, and some of them had bacon and cheese, and he stuffed some with mushrooms and sausage and all this mixed in the potatoes and then stuffed inside the potatoes.
You gotta stop. My dick.
And then he was making homemade egg noodles and frying those up as well. So it was just a plate of pierogies and noodles and potatoes, and I think I probably cleared my body weight in pierogies.
Jesus. Well, yeah, it's. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say not to cut you off, but that's one thing I did do. I tried a new food. You're right, that wasn't all, but that's another thing.
What was food?
It was squash spaghetti instead of like the chunks
Oh,
of it
yeah.
being in there.
Uh-huh.
It was the noodles were actually
Squash.
like the squash, and
Yeah.
I've never had it before. So
I don't think I've had it either, but I hear it's okay.
oh yeah, I was like, I wasn't too sure about it, and I was like, do I really want this? Like, but I mean, I figured I'd try it because
Yeah, worst case scenario. You know,
I don't
you
like it. Yeah,
don't
that's
eat it,
so I put a little bit. I was like, okay, if I don't like it, I can just like won't be hard just to do something with it.
Just
But yeah,
scrape the
so
shit.
so I did that, and the only difference for me was that it's just a little bit crunchier, but it was still pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Good. Now I have somebody's testimonial, so if I ever want to try it, I know now.
Yeah, I like it. So, and I mean, it's kind of healthy squash.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, no, it's definitely better than pasta.
It's better than pasta.
So
'cause there's
yeah, the only
less carbs.
the only difference
starch.
is that it's like just crunchy, but you can't really taste the squash, but it still tastes like spaghetti.
Yeah.
Just the noodles are a little bit crunchier.
Yeah, as long as you season everything right and it's got pasta sauce, stuff, you won't even really
Yeah,
know.
it's good. I liked it.
No, I've had zucchini noodles, I believe.
Those are fun.
I've never had those.
but not squash. But yeah, no,
So
that
you
was
ate
mainly...
your weight this week?
Probably, yes. So I gained, according to the scale, by the end of the week. Now, this is 7 days. Supposedly, I gained 15 pounds during that time, and that was yesterday when I weighed myself. I weighed myself today, and I've somehow lost 7. Now, granted, I probably pissed like a small lake's worth of pee in the last 24 hours, because I was telling A-Train earlier off mic that I got up 5 times at least. I lost count after 5, so it might have been more.
What did you
times to go pee?
What did you adjust back in your diet so that you'd be
I cut the
flushing all of that
carbs
water
out, because I haven't had them except once a week.
Sure.
For the most part, and I went a whole week of just having nothing but carbs, so all the water that I did take just stayed. And
Okay.
then once I had a full day with a fast and no carbs, yeah, it was just coming out like clockwork. Plus, too, my body has gotten used to not having carbs like that,
Right.
and retaining water like
Right.
that. So I think it's like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, get this out of here. Like, what? No, we're not going back to this.
Your body's
Gotcha.
trying to clean yourself out.
Right.
Like,
It's
no.
trying to
Maybe
keep me
that's what I
accountable.
need to do. I need to cut back a couple days a week.
I mean, start small.
Yeah.
Just like next time you're gonna have like a meal, just whatever your carb is, don't have it that time. With that one meal, and then try to evolve it into, okay, I'm gonna go a whole day and have no carbs. Then say I'm gonna go like 2-3 days. Then you'll be able to work up to like a week at a time. And yeah, some people like don't have cheat days and just hard fast like.
A
for
girl that I
life.
work with says that she doesn't have a cheat day because once she has a cheat day,
Yeah.
it's so easy for
It
her
is.
to
It is.
make excuses for the rest of the week
It's
to
like,
become
whoa,
a-
that was only like 8 hours ago. I
Right,
might as well
right,
have
right.
another burger now.
Right.
Yeah, so it's, yeah. But I think of all the diets, if you're going to try keto, because at least with keto, you can still have meat, you can have bacon, fatty foods, cheese, dairy, all that
Tried
other
some
shit.
cheese too.
Yeah,
this
all that other
weekend.
shit.
I keep
is
forgetting
like,
what I've tried.
was it Gouda?
Maybe I don't know. No,
love Gouda.
Maybe it was either that or another one that sounds kind of similar to that.
Okay.
Gouda's amazing.
But either way, it was
so is
the flavor
Munster.
was strong. It was pretty rich, but
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that sounds like Gouda.
Maybe, but I don't remember it. But it was pretty nice.
I say you're describing my favorite cheese.
But yeah, that was basically it. I was a fat kid all week, so. there we
Yeah, that's all right.
go. Yeah, it happens. All right, moving on.
Pierogi appeared in Poland in the 13th century, and legend has it that Saint Hyacinth, the patron saint of the pierogi, brought the recipe back from Kiev in modern-day Ukraine. There are also whispers that Marco Polo brought pierogi to the Western world from China during the same century.
It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where DJ Melly Mel finds dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geek, so you can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. All right. So we are a week out from Halloween. Can't believe it's November already.
Damn, it's almost 2020.
I know. It's craziness. I don't know. I feel like I'm in the minority on this one. So dumb shit is kind of a controversial thing this week. Not too bad, but...
Talk about politics. Oh, shit, okay.
Not like politics like you're thinking, though.
Okay, all right, sure.
It does involve the laws.
Okay.
So I saw this article and it said, from California to Maryland, local ordinances penalize trick-or-treating by teens after 8 p.m. or while wearing a mask.
What?
Yeah, and
where is this?
it says that there's different laws popping up from California to Maryland. So it's
kind of like across.
Yeah, it's like hit or miss in small places.
Huh. So what? Okay, give me the reasoning.
So in Portsmouth, Virginia, excuse me, I don't have my glasses on tonight. A teenager flung a firecracker into a young trick-or-treater's bag, and another used a steak knife to stab a 14-year-old who stole a bag of candy.
Oh.
Yeah. So
the reasoning...
Well, damn, that was dark. I did not think that. You had me already. I was pretty much sold on the law when you said they threw a firecracker in the trick-or-treater's bag.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's fucked up. And then you said he stabbed him?
Yeah. So,
to be fair,
he did.
I've wanted to stab me a motherfucker for trying to take my candy before, too. I was that kid on Halloween where some
but you didn't
big
have
asshole,
a snake knife.
No, but if I had it, I would have stabbed that motherfucker.
Yeah, if I had
I worked hard
would've.
for this candy. Shit, where the fuck you think this is?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So,
No. Was these in the same place?
Yeah, they were both in the same city.
Oh, dang.
Okay, well, there's something wrong with y'all, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So
They need that
there's
law.
been a bunch.
I know, right?
There's been a bunch of groups who have been petitioning for city councils to impose age limits
For trick-or-treating?
for trick-or-treating and restrict the hours when children are actually allowed to go door to door. The result would be a trick-or-treating ordinance. This punishes trick-or-treating over the age of 12 unless the person is supervising a younger child. Or after 8 p.m. as a misdemeanor with a fine up to $500.
Oh.
Now, this isn't in place, but it could be.
It's just basically giving you a gist of what they're...
We had 6 trick-or-treaters come to the house.
Sure.
All of them were over 12.
Yeah.
Most
fucking are. Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that the 6 that we had were
My brother's over 12, and he's
15,
still trick-or-treats.
probably 15 to 17.
Sure.
And they were harmless. They're
fucking kids.
They just wanted some candy.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I went trick-or-treating, I was 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's about
And I worked,
the usual cutoff. Is about 16.
And I worked hard on my costume, and the girls that I went with, we worked hard on our costumes.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it. I know a lot of people have been debating this last couple weeks, whether or not, trick-or-treating is for little kids, and there's an age... I saw it was all over Twitter last week, all over Facebook.
Let me educate y'all motherfuckers. Let me roll my sleeves up.
Oh, God, it's getting
Okay,
real.
so hear me out. The Halloween industry, if we want to call it that,
Industry.
is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The majority of the sales are adult Halloween costumes.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
kids.
true.
Well, okay, for 2 reasons. One, there are always going to be more adults than there are children in the world.
Yes.
There's always going to be that ratio.
Yes.
Second, at least hopefully. Second, there is a lot of kids that are eligible to trick-or-treat that don't necessarily do it.
Right.
Like, because of religious reasons
Sure.
or whatever. So it's like...
Or babies, because babies can't really...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parents might dress them up and take them
Yeah,
out,
but
they're
they
not
still
really...
have to,
They're not going to eat all that candy.
Right,
No.
and it ain't for them anyway. The parents gonna eat the shit any goddamn
Right.
way.
Yeah.
So it's like, so to say, like, oh, it's only for kids. Now, I do believe after a certain age, again, 16 to maybe 17, depending on the kid, should be the cutoff for trick-or-treating. but I don't feel to literally say if you're a teenager,
That
13 is
right.
not old enough to be telling somebody they can't keep trick-or-treating. You're literally still in middle school.
Right.
Maybe high school, depending on when you turn 13.
Right.
But it's like...
Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous. And personally...
No. Being a certain time to cut off?
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
That's a middle ground I'd be willing to meet on. But to say, oh man, your birthday is, October 30th, and you just hit 13. Sorry, kid, you can't go trick or treat. Like, that's bullshit.
And I mean, I'm with you on the time thing, especially as somebody who passed out candy this year.
Yeah.
And it was cold. And, our porch, it's like a motion sensor.
Right.
It's not just a solid light. And so we had to keep checking the door to make sure that the light was on so that I didn't want to be up at 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock being like, oh, well, can I go to bed now? Or is there going to be somebody that's going to ring the doorbell and make the dog go crazy?
Right.
Do I have to get up out of bed because there's somebody standing on my porch? So, I mean, I'm cool with it. Like, by this point in time, anyways, it's dark at 8 o'clock anyway. And this year it was exceptionally nasty weather. So, I'm good with the cutoff times. There's another thing in Virginia, and it says in Chesapeake, Virginia, trick-or-treaters older than 12 face a fine, not less than 25, but no more than 100. Or confinement in jail for not more than 6 months, or both. So I think that I get protecting the little kids. But if you have adults with your little kids, like if you're a parent and you've taken your young children out, keep them away from the big kids.
Yeah, well, for one, it's like, where the fuck are you at while your kids are out getting firecrackers thrown in their bags and beat up and stabbed?
Right.
And
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck is you at? Where's your kids?
Yeah, I mean, because when we go trick-or-treating, like, we always go together. We don't go, like, separately. Like, okay, you go this way and we'll meet up later.
No, hell
Like,
no.
no.
Hell no, man. It's like, look, maybe because I grew up in Flint, in the city or some shit like that, but no, what would happen in 99% of the time would be the adults would drive in the car and the kids would walk. And they would just follow behind. Maybe they'll let you go down a block maybe on your own, but they ain't no further than about a block away from you at any given time.
See,
Still within eyesight.
We never trick-or-treated, not like in a traditional sense. My parents were always the religious ones. So we got to do the trunk or treat in like the
church and all
the
that.
church
That's
parking lots
nice.
and
They
whatever.
have good
I mean, we'd
Some
go
have good
to
candy.
They do.
we'd go to
You know
like
that candy came from that fucking donation money collection plate.
whatever. I mean, it was whatever.
They bought that candy with your money anyway.
We went, like, we'd go to my grandma had one neighbor, and we'd go to her, and she'd be all excited to see us. And then, we lived in a small town, so going 3-4 houses down to friend of the family's house. All right, we hit the friend of the family next door, and then we hit the friend of the family down the road, and then we go hit up the trunk or treat, and then we were done. I mean, that's just...
Did you ever do the thing where y'all went to like retail stores and stuff or gas stations?
No, I think that was well, no, I guess we used to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because they always had the little coupon books and the crackers.
The one by us used to give out the little cookies.
Yeah,
Happy Meals.
the
You remember
cookies, those were good.
Well, I don't know. Do they still even do that? I don't know. Because you're
there's
younger
this-
than us. Do they still do cookies in the Happy Meals?
No, they do
Uh,
apple slices.
There's this, back
They can't
home,
do the cookies
Yeah,
anymore.
gotta make them kids healthy.
back home, there's this church, like, it's right before, the high school, and you go there, and they give you, like, burgers and stuff, so, like, and a free, like, Coke or something.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's not candy though. But I mean,
But,
hey,
I'd take a
They
burger,
say I
like,
got enough shit rotting y'all teeth tonight. Like
I'd take a burger over candy, probably.
Okay.
Like that burger, like a barbecue burger. I'd take it over that.
Oh, barbecue bacon cheeseburger sounds really fucking good right now.
Don't think about it. It's okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
Don't
Yeah,
give
so
in to
I
temptation.
thought that this was...
Right.
I thought that these were a little crazy.
Okay, but
Again-
but I want to know.
Where are these parents?
Why would
Yeah,
you
like
let your
how
child...
did this escalate?
How
to
did he
the
get the
point where,
steak knife? Like,
Yeah, right. And don't get me wrong, kids are sneaky and will get shit when you ain't paying
Yes,
attention.
they will.
I get it. I was a kid too. We all were.
yeah. But
I understand. But if you are in a scenario where you are not around your child in the middle of the night with a bunch of other people
Dressed
who are in
up,
costumes and masks and all this other kind of shit, and you ain't around, if something happens to them, that's on you as the parent.
Right.
Like, to tell the other kids who are older than 12, you might spend 6 months in jail?
Up to, yep.
What kind of fucking shit, man? Lord.
I think that it would just be best to practice safe Halloweening.
Halloweening.
Yes, that's what I'm calling it.
Halloweening.
Like, go out with your kids or send them with a responsible party. You know, I get it if you got multiple kids and multiple parents and cool, but it's not like Halloween sneaks up on us. We know about it a whole year in advance. Several years in advance. You always know that Halloween is going to fall on October 31st. You always know the drill. You're going to go, it's going to be dark, your kids are going to want candy, there's going to be crazy people out there.
Always, yeah.
Put some comfortable shoes on and go. It's 3 hours, one night a year? If that, because it gets dark.
And
most parents get burnt
some
out
people
after,
run
an
out
hour
of
and a half.
candy
Right.
fast, too.
Right.
We went like to 9 houses. Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
It'd be like, you got a pillowcase full, that's cool. Just,
yeah.
it'll be done.
Yeah.
I don't see why. Now, this is coming from someone who is not a parent, but it makes sense. Just go with your kids. Let
For
them
those exact reasons.
let them have some fun and be done with it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't take it like Halloween should be like the one night you're super vigilant if you're going to be a lazy parent or
I wouldn't go Halloweening by myself, that's for sure.
I mean, even when I went when we were 15, 16, there was 4 of us.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you're
I wouldn't go
We
by
went
myself.
and
at
her
all.
mom followed, like the one girl, her mom followed us in the van.
As you're supposed to.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily,
Right.
you know, she didn't have to be right there with us because we were 15, 16,
Right.
but
And she still had an eye on y'all, though.
yeah, we were right there.
Yeah. It was never too far to where they couldn't see you, at least.
No.
Maybe not within, like, arm's reach, but it's like, hey.
Pretty
All right,
damn
I
close.
see you at that stop sign. You
Right,
good.
right.
Yeah, pretty damn close. So I think that people are taking this way too crazy. Maybe it's just me. If I don't know if you have a different opinion, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think. But for you to start making laws about when the cutoff age
Yeah.
of Halloween is, I think we've
when you can
taken things
stop
a little too
trick-or-treating
far.
and-
But that's just me. So yeah, that's my dumb shit this week. So let's recap. Let's not throw firecrackers in little kids'
or
buckets.
stab people.
Let's
or
not
take
stab
people's
people.
candy.
Let's
I
not
mean,
take people's candy.
You can get it at the store.
Yeah, wait till the day after.
There's no
50%
need.
off.
Yeah. Or don't take kids' candy and you won't get stabbed.
Yeah.
That's a thought, too.
Same thing.
Not saying it's okay to stab people, kids. It is not.
But it's also not okay to take people's candy.
Right. Just
Yeah,
know that
I mean-
that is an option or a possibility that you might get stabbed for taking little Timmy's candy. Just putting that out.
So don't be a
take the
jerk
candy.
and stay smart.
Go get some candy. From the store.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Like,
Rite Aid, they got you.
yeah.
If you, I guess, want to shoot me your opinion, you can email us at officialogofg@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter, either at the show, 1GiantLeap, 4 Geeks, or you can hit me up personally at Froggy Beaver. Stay smart, kids. Stay safe. And I guess have fun with things.
That is it. Halloween is cancelled. You fucked it up for everyone.
I might have to eat crow.
Uh-oh.
Because I have not been a fan of the recent iteration of Superman. I mean, he's not the worst thing in the world, but Henry Cavill isn't necessarily the best actor either. It's two things with him, or with that character in this current version. One, he's not well written because he doesn't talk a lot, so he doesn't really show me a lot of opportunities for him to act. And two, I don't think Henry Cavill's all that great of an actor either. So I'm like, even in the small little pockets where he does get to show some emotion and like do something,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just like, that happened. Yep, that was a thing. But after watching the trailer for the Witcher series that's coming on Netflix, I was like, I bought him as the character. I actually was impressed that he actually cracked a little joke or some shit, like when and real quick too, was this a Red Band trailer? Was like this like a rated R trailer? Because there's nudity in the trailer.
It might have been.
I think so.
It must have been. I was like, how is this on YouTube? And how has YouTube not caught
Wait,
this?
did we see the same trailer?
I hope so. Is the most recent one that just came out like 5 days ago, The Witcher?
Yeah, that's the one I clicked on.
Okay. So there's the scene where the girl's talking to him, and she's like, "Oh, they call you
Are they in the
a demon or a monster."
Are they like in the water? Like the
No, not that part. It's right around that part of the trailer though, but she's talking to him and she's like, "Oh, I thought you would have horns or something."
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "I shaved them off." But behind him is like an
Yes,
orgy.
It was at the like all those people, and they were like close. Yeah, I know what you're talking
they
about.
were like
I
straight
think
up
I
fucking
just-
in the
Yeah,
background.
I missed
were.
that.
And there was titties
I've
all
seen
over the
it.
screen, and I'm just like, what? I had to like look. Is this Pornhub?
I'm
That's
gonna
what I was looking at when that scene came up. I was like, "What's in the background?" I was like, "Oh,
And I mean,
Okay.
maybe it's kind of blurred, or maybe
it looks blurred.
it's kind
not
of out
really-
of focus.
Yeah,
a
it's
little
It
bit.
not
might
really
have been that I watched it while I was distracted.
Maybe. It just
So
didn't catch that
yeah,
part.
that could
But
be.
They
But I've
only
seen
show it
it.
from his angle with the people behind him for
Right.
like the length of time for him to say, "I shaved them off," and then it's just
Yeah.
gone. So it's
Okay.
not up there for very long. But
It's there."
Yeah, but if you're looking for it,
yeah, so somebody might want to tell YouTube that they fucking
no,
up.
don't tell YouTube yet. I want to go in and watch this part here.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be on the show. I mean, fuck the trailer. You'll have it on Netflix soon. But yeah, no, I was actually kind of impressed by this. Like,
I saw the blonde wig that he had going
No,
on,
that is
or
white.
hair,
That is
the white.
white.
And I just
White.
looked at it and I was like, Draco Malfoy for just
Oh,
a second,
shit.
and
No, he
then
looked like his daddy.
the dad, yeah,
Oh my god.
his daddy.
Oh,
and
what's his
then
name?
Lucius or
Yeah,
Lucius,
Lucius, yeah,
Lucius.
Lucius.
And I was like, Malfoy for a second, and then
That would have been good.
he like turned around and I saw the face and I'm like, that's not Henry Cavill, and then he fucking talks and I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's him.
that's Henry Cavill. All right,
And I mean, maybe I feel like he's a better actor in this because
could be.
he gets to use his real British accent. He doesn't have to put on an American accent, so he's maybe more comfortable.
It could be. Also, I think, like you said, Superman's not very well written these days.
No. Hell no.
I actually recently just went back and watched Justice League.
He is better
It was-
in that, but he's still not. He's lacking quite a bit.
I think just the whole character is lacking, and now that he's been Superman in more than one movie, I think it's just left a bad taste in my mouth for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, this looked cool.
Now,
Kind of like a Game of Thrones type thing.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Now, Lexi, did you watch Game of Thrones when it was on?
A little bit, but I didn't like fully watch it.
So, did you like follow it to the end though? No. Okay.
No.
Well, I didn't watch it at all. I don't think Mel watched it either.
I watched like the first couple of like scenes, maybe like one episode or two, but I didn't like full through go with it.
Oh,
Any
see, I
season
didn't
or anything like
even
that?
get it through an episode. I've seen clips, but not.
I've seen stuff on YouTube. People
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
you know,
I
but-
just basically know of it. I don't.
I can like I've seen enough of it where I can pick up on it in pop culture references.
right.
But
But yeah, you couldn't tell, storyline.
I got no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I got no idea.
What happened?
Families doing what.
I don't even know
who.
character names.
No.
Oh, me neither. It's so bad.
No, but
don't know.
I really feel like, and that's why I was curious if you had seen Game of Thrones, because I feel as if this is Netflix's answer to Game of Thrones. Like, do you, or did it feel like, kind of like, okay, they're just making a Game of Thrones show, but calling it something else?
Kind of, yeah.
Or maybe like Lord of the Rings, even?
Yeah, it has that kind of, like, vibe to it, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
And again, I can hear the nerds in like the ether screaming at me. It's like, there's a book and games, and I understand that.
So serious. Yeah,
it's its own series. It's a franchise. People are aware of it and know it. I get that. I don't know jack shit about The Witcher. I've never read the books.
Me
I've
neither.
never played the games.
Know
I hear the
nothing
games
about
are
it.
good, but I've never played them. So
Yeah,
I don't
same.
have any point of reference. The only thing I can do is just look at this and say, like, oh, it's Game of Thrones.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like all we have to refer to, or like compare it to,
or Lord of the Rings.
Lord of
something
the
like
Rings.
that. I did think it was cool though with this, as opposed to shows like Game of Thrones, where there is magical shit in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of characters that like fight with magic per se, or at least from what little bit that I've seen, it doesn't seem that way. With this, I like that he's full on like a wizard pretty much and shit, and he's like doing spells and shit in the part towards the end when his eyes turn black and all that.
Yeah.
I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
that shit was
that
dope.
was cool.
So I was like, okay, I'm with it just for that kind of stuff, and I like the sword and sorcery shows and movies.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. Like I tell people all the time, I am certain that I would have loved or will love Game of Thrones when I finally do watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that there's so much other shit I ain't caught up on yet. I can't commit to a show that's already like, now it's over, but already like 7 seasons in by that point.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I can't go. And they're like, oh, there's short seasons, just like 10 episodes. I'm like, yeah, I know.
That's
but
still 70 episodes.
I know. I'm like, that's committing a lot of hours of my
And
life
time.
to. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't.
We'll just put it this way. We do our show once a week.
Right.
Our podcast once a
Right.
week.
Mhm.
And we're creeping up on...
You can say show. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
show.
a show.
Sure.
we put on a show.
We
A
are
show, a
creeping
show.
up on episode 100.
We are.
Very quickly.
Fast approaching.
Yes. Before Christmas, actually, I think.
I think you might be right. Yep. This is 94.
94, we got
So
5
6 more
weeks.
weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, the 6th week will be the 100th episode, but yeah, so 5 weeks, 5
Yeah.
more episodes. Anyway,
Either which way, it's before the New Year.
Mhm.
Probably before the New Year, not
yes,
before
for
Christmas.
sure, for sure. Before.
Anyways,
You and me.
that's like if you have 70 episodes of something and you watch 1 episode a week, you're still watching episodes.
That's more than a year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no. I and again, I just want to stress that it's not because I don't have an interest in these things or because I think that they look bad.
Well, no,
I just
but
don't have the time.
I'm
I'm
how
like-
many times have you said, "Oh, hey, did you catch the show?" You know, I haven't.
Right. Like, oh, did you get a chance to go see this movie? Like, no. So that's the thing.
Like,
And
because
it's
you know
hard.
it's something that I'd be interested in.
Oh yeah, and it's
It's
difficult
just-
because we do a podcast about this kind of stuff. So it's like I
Right.
try to stay up on it as best I can.
I
but
do too.
It is rough, man. These
rough.
these mean geek streets is rough.
You gotta work full time and do the podcast, and
I'm sucking dick on the weekend.
you got other
money-
things going on, and
It's
Such a
rough.
rough
It's a
life.
rough life. But that being said, if you guys did not have Netflix prior to this, would this show convince you to get a subscription?
no.
No?
No.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, probably for me.
Because I don't like.
Because I'm just curious, like, are they just trying to take the people from who were watching HBO for Game of Thrones and bring them over to Netflix? Or are they trying to bring in a
Maybe.
new audience that
Maybe.
maybe don't have Netflix
Yeah,
that
maybe,
have been
yeah.
holding out for whatever reason?
I think for me, getting Netflix, there's a lot of things that. Like, a lot of things come on Netflix.
Mhm.
And it took a long time for me to actually get Netflix
You're welcome.
before I actually got it.
Sure.
Like, there was a pile of things. I was like, damn, I really want to watch a lot of this, but I don't have Netflix. So a lot has to pile on for me to pay that $8.
I get it. It's an extra expense that is just like, I mean, and it may sound trivial for the amount. I get it, but it's an extra expense that you didn't have before.
Right.
I mean, that
Yeah.
$8 does add up quick. I mean, it's about $100 a year, so.
And you got to factor, okay, well, am I actually going to have the time to watch this? Am I going to be able to have the time to watch the show? And it's just,
I would say it worked out well for
there's
you.
a lot of confounding factors.
Because we've...
But since I do have Netflix, and you're right, we do watch our shows, and we've watched quite a good chunk of good shows.
Yeah.
We still haven't.
We do.
We still
Look at
haven't
how
watched
good Netflix
all
has
of the
been.
ones that I want to watch, but we'll get there. Hope. Now that we do have Netflix, might be something that if I'm sitting at home on the weekend and I'm like, hey, let's watch this, or hey, let's see what this is about, see if I can get into it. Might be something I'd have to do either with Sexy Lexi or on my own, because I doubt that this is something T-Money be into.
Well, maybe not.
Maybe, I don't know.
I can binge watch shows, though.
Yeah.
It might,
You and
maybe
A-Train.
like when I go
Y'all can burn
donate
through some
plasma.
I fell asleep one time through a whole season.
Damn.
Like,
Okay,
I was-
that's not really binge watching.
No,
You're just binge sleeping
no,
at that point.
okay. Well, see, what happened
Show
was
watching your
I
ass.
watched the whole, the whole first season, and
Sure.
then when I got into the second season, my eyes were getting tired, but I was like, I can listen to it, so I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I woke up, and the whole season was over with, and I was like, I didn't even watch these. Like, what? Hardcore binge watching.
Yeah,
That's what it
I
is.
can't do the whole binge watching thing. I can get about 3 hours is my cutoff. Like if a movie's longer than 3 hours, or if I got to watch more than 3 hours of a show, that's when I start checking out. Like that is about as long as you can keep my attention on something I can't interact with. Like
Yeah.
I can play a game for a whole day.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
Same.
fine because I'm doing
Right.
shit.
Yeah, I do.
Right.
But when I'm just sitting there staring at something for a while, like, I overanalyze shit and all that. So I'll keep myself occupied for a while. But you hit that 3 hour mark and it's like, all right, I'm drifting. You losing me.
Yeah.
I think mine's about 5.
Yeah.
Not
Because A-Train,
for...
she'll want to binge watch some shit all day. And I'm like, look, man, we got to take a break. Like,
Yeah, I think. Well, I sat through all 3 Lord of the Rings movies
Right.
back to back to back,
Jesus.
and not of my own free will. But
There ain't no way in hell. Especially that last one.
yeah,
That shit was...
that was
fucking
9
6
and a
hours on
half.
its
I want to
own.
say that was 9.5 hours. I'd never get back.
Fuck that noise.
But like, I'm good with long movies.
Sure.
But I'm about 4.5, 5 hours. I'm done.
Sure.
Especially if they're 30-minute episodes of something. Which I mean, most of Netflix are about 45 minutes. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I'm watching like 30-minute episodes of something, you're talking 12 episodes in a 6-hour period.
Right.
I can
Something
do
like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that I can't.
I grow more impatient with long movies than I do like with shows, like watching shows.
Yeah.
Because I just grow more impatient with watching a movie. Like if I'm watching a long movie, and if I'm not like full interested in it, but like I'm half interested in it, I'll be like I'm ready for it to end. But like if I'm
Like
watching a
credits,
show,
motherfucker.
like I'm okay with it. I don't grow as impatient as if I were to be
You
watching
are
a movie.
impatient with movies, man.
Huh.
There's been movies I've been wanting to show her. I'll be like, "Oh, you got to see this, you got to see that," and it's like 2-hour movies. She's like, "Can we?" Or
She's
she
like,
falls asleep. She
been
usually
10
falls
minutes. What is
asleep.
this shit?
Yeah, she usually falls asleep. She's just like, I can't with this.
So
Yeah,
note to self:
just-
don't do a movie review with Lexi.
right. Should probably
Yeah,
say
I'm
no.
not
What'd you
the
think,
best
Lexi? Oh
person.
yeah, it was great.
Kid you not, I have never finished the Maleficent movie, the first one, because
still haven't
I've fallen
seen it, though,
asleep
It's good. I
throughout
liked
it. Like I just
The same
every
part
time,
every time.
Yeah, it's usually like in the middle, and I'm like out. Like I cannot stay up. Like I just don't know.
Start it from the middle.
You know what? You're smart.
Start from where you fall
Start-
asleep.
yeah.
And then that way you
I don't
just
know.
watch it in two
I feel like
halves.
I need to like recap. You know?
Right,
Like,
right.
but
Just
you're that's
condense
a
it
good
down.
idea.
Like, just play it at like 8 times speed
Yeah,
and just
be like,
get a little
okay,
5-minute recap.
This is what
Like,
happened.
we
Yeah,
get it.
all right, got it. Hear
But
no
no-
sound for like 5 minutes
Right,
straight.
right. But we completely got derailed, and
It happens.
The Witcher looks good though.
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah, definitely looks good.
I'm looking forward to it. I am giving Henry Cavill a fifth chance probably at this point because he keep fucking up. But hopefully, this does well for him. But I can almost guarantee you, if this takes off and becomes popular and Netflix picks it up for another season, he will not be putting on that cape again. I promise you.
I don't think he's putting on the cape again anyway.
No, but if he gets the show permanently,
he definitely
ain't putting that shit back on. Netflix is gonna be like, look, Netflix and Disney going at each other's throats, so Netflix and Warner Brothers probably in the same boat, and they like, look, we ain't sharing, motherfucker. Like, he either gonna be over here or he gonna be over there. Fuck everything else in between.
Right.
All right, moving on.
The Witcher series is quite popular. The books have been adapted into film, television, games and graphic novels. The video games have been very successful and have sold over 33 million copies worldwide.
They finally did it. These sons of bitches finally did it. I have been saying it for literal, I feel like decades at this point, because I feel like Vin Diesel doesn't age.
Yeah.
He's
He
another,
really
him and
doesn't.
Keanu.
He's just great.
Yeah, they on some fucking.
Dude, I saw a picture of Keanu and his girlfriend right now, and she is younger than him. She's 46, he's 55. And I swear to God, she looks like she's almost 80, and he looks like he's still 20s.
Damn.
He looks super young, and she looks super not young. So,
She got that good pussy. She said, I lock down Keanu, bitches. Ha!
But anyway.
But I feel like I've been saying this for years, possibly decades, maybe for a millennia. But why have they not just gone ahead and made Vin Diesel a superhero? Somebody finally went on ahead and did the shit, because between the Fast and Furious movies, that weird witch hunter movie that he did,
I liked that movie. I thought it was
X
good.
movie.
Yeah, the Triple X movies.
Oh, Riddick. He
Yeah,
was in
Riddick. Yeah, all that shit. I'm like, he desperately wants to be in a superhero movie. Like, so much so to the point where Vin Diesel, a multi-millionaire who's been in flagship franchises for studios and made billions of dollars movies and this, that, and the other, this motherfucker was like, look, please, I'll do anything. Like, I suck your dick. Just please, look. I'll be the voice of Groot, okay? like, he literally has one line, 3 words, I am Groot. That's all he says. Or the variation, we are Groot. And he did that shit. Y'all could have literally got anybody. I could have been Groot, God damn it. It wouldn't even fucking matter. Exactly right. I am Groot. Like, it don't even matter. And but he was willing to do it because he so desperately wants to be a superhero. So somebody finally listened to his call, and it was like, Ven, we got you, fam. Like, don't even worry about it. There's this obscure character that don't nobody know or give 2 squirts of piss about called Bloodshot.
Yeah, but
we got you. You right here.
You gonna be the new
right. You the Bloodshot now.
Yeah.
He like, thanks, I guess.
Did anybody else watch this trailer and feel like it was The Matrix?
Yes.
Plus Paycheck?
Yes.
Plus a superhero movie?
Yes.
Plus
a little bit of Max
Wolverine.
Payne. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And just kind of, bam, here you go, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, my favorite term, if they all had a baby,
Yeah.
it would be this movie.
Yeah, because
they all had a baby.
I don't know
right.
if
Big
Sexy Lexi's
orgy.
seen this, but the Paycheck movie with Ben Affleck.
Yep, I do remember that film.
Basically, like this.
Ben tries to forget about it, but
Yeah.
I still remember.
I remember it wasn't bad. It had Uma Thurman in it, and I didn't say it was good. Don't give me that. I just said it wasn't
I
bad.
can just picture Ben right now on his couch with like a bottle of scotch and like a rally burger crying and shit. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh my god.
Anyway, like, these government people pay him for him to go in and do, like, time travel stuff. And then they erase his mind afterwards, and they try to present, like, a new reality to him. You might like it. I don't know. But, like, it kind of had the same effect, in the Bloodshot trailer, where they, like, kept erasing his memory and changing it and making him go do things.
Yeah, right. Because the way it's presented initially is he was a soldier who I don't know, some kind of home invasion or something happened, and his wife was killed, and he, I assume, was also killed, and they brought him back to life?
Yeah.
Or they enhanced him? 'Cause
Something
he was hurt?
along them lines.
I don't know. He got fucked up.
Yeah.
And so then they basically use him as, they guide him, and he's like a missile, and they're like, okay, these are the motherfuckers that did this shit to you, now go get them. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that they're killing off people that...
Right. And then after it's over, they zap him, he passes out, they erase what he did, and then they fuck with the memory of his dead fiance and whatever, and then just put a new person in there, and they're like, okay, all right, do it again, go get him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but to him, he don't remember the shit that happened before, so they just keep resetting him each time. So yes, it's a lot like Paycheck.
a lot
in
like
that way.
Paycheck.
Like the Matrix, because they have the thing where it's like a virtual reality they're in, and all this
Upload
shit.
the program.
Yeah, and I was just like,
a lot of technology. Yeah.
Dude said upload the program, and I'm like,
yeah,
Morpheus?
Okay, so it looks fine.
Yeah, I mean, I
Fine.
definitely want to see it.
Some of the special effects I thought were cool, like the shot where they shoot. It's like at
Where
the
they
very
shoot
beginning,
his
too. They
face
shoot his
and-
face,
Yeah,
and
or
then it
his
comes
hand.
back.
I think it was his hand.
Yeah,
and
and
he
he
they're
slices
and shit. Yeah, like cool, fine, cool. There's something about maybe it's because it's another Vin Diesel movie. I don't know.
That's the reason I'm all for it. It's because Vin Diesel.
Okay.
I like Vin Diesel.
I like
do
Vin Diesel
too.
as well, but I take all of his movies. Same thing with The Rock. Love The Rock, love Vin Diesel. But whenever I go into their movies, I go in with lowered expectations. Because I'm like, this ain't going to be no Oscar-worthy performance. This ain't finna be some shit that I'm probably going to watch again after this. But for now, it's fun.
I watch a lot of The Rock and Vin Diesel movies.
Like, the only Rock
repeatedly.
movie that I think I've watched more than one time on purpose was The Rundown.
That's a good one.
And I was like, at the time, he was still new to acting and stuff. I think the only thing he had did before that was that Mummy movie or Scorpion King or some shit.
Scorpion King,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was just
Those
like,
two.
sure, it's fine. And that's kind of how I feel about this. Like, it looks fine, not bad, not good, just
Meh.
Fine.
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 Not necessarily meh, because meh kind of has like a negative connotation to it. It just looks fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's the only way I can. Don't mock me. No, that's the only way I can describe it. Though it's
Fine.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I thought it looked pretty cool.
Now,
But I have a lot of bias. I really enjoy Vin Diesel movies.
okay, I thought you were gonna say like you
I
know the
do
character. I was
too.
like, oh, thank you, because I didn't know.
No, I got
shit
no
about this
fucking
dude.
idea who
I don't know
that
who
is.
he is either.
It said Bloodshot, and I was like, Deadshot trailer? What? We're finally
Right.
getting a Deadshot movie?
I've-
Right,
But no,
what the fans have always wanted.
right,
Bloodshot.
right.
Oh,
Like that-
thank you.
like that Spawn movie we keep waiting for.
I know, right? Well, you know, for a second though, I thought it was gonna be like Blade or some shit.
Yeah,
I
The
thought
name.
so too.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be some vampire shit. No.
No.
I kind of wish it was. But
He's like a poor man's Deadpool, I guess, almost.
Kinda. Like I watched that trailer once, and then I showed Sexy Lexi once I got home, and I like them main movies that we listed: Paycheck, Matrix, fucking. I keep picturing all of that.
No,
and
because it's
it
a very
has
familiar story.
very much so.
Now, I don't know the source material for this character, so this could be his origin story, and I don't want to shit on it for that. You know, if that's his story, then that's his story.
Sure.
But whoever came up with that used a lot of tired tropes from movies that we've seen done a lot and a lot better. But you know, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fun.
fine.
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 Hi.
Fine.
Did you see that Dolomite hit Netflix? by
Yes,
the way?
yes, and we're definitely going to watch that at some point here soon and talk about it. But
Okay.
one of the things that threw me off, though, and maybe he doesn't die right away in the movie, but Toby Kebbell is in this movie. Now, if you don't know him by his name, he was what they called Doctor Doom in that most recent Fantastic Four movie, and he was Koba, the like evil ape in the second Planet of the Apes movies. If you watch any of those, he's the one that Caesar throws off the thing at the
Oh,
end.
gotcha. No.
But he does like a lot of like motion capture stuff like that. But he like does live action, acting roles and stuff like that too. But he's the guy who Vin Diesel goes after at the beginning of the trailer to kill him. And I'm like, I know he's been in stuff and he's a pretty decent actor. So I'm like, why would you put him in this movie just to kill him off at the beginning? So maybe that dude that he kills at the very beginning isn't actually dead?
Could be.
Maybe he like comes back. And...
Yeah. And another thing that threw me off too was the black guy. I'm just gonna let that pause so I just have an awkward silence after that. No, the
one random black guy.
No. The thing.
The black guy.
I know, right? That's it. Just turn it off after
Yeah,
that.
the
No,
guy.
the thing that threw me off about him is I know that actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the New Girl show.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second reference I've made to that today. That's the GIF from
Mm-hmm.
but he's, as far as I know, now I'm starting to question. He's American.
Okay.
But he's doing a British accent in that. And I'm just like, I was just talking about this with Robert Downey Jr. last week with the Doolittle
accent,
shit. Yeah, or like a few weeks ago. And I'm just like, I don't like when Americans do British accents. I don't like it because I always feel like it sounds like cartoony. Like what we think British people sound like is like, oh, pip pip cheerio and all that shit. And it's like, no, I don't know. Like it.
I think you're the only one. It's fine.
It's fine.
Fine.
It's all fine.
We should
Clearly
count how
it's
many
not.
times you said fine
I know,
so
right?
far.
Please,
Fine.
somebody tweet at me how many times did I say fine during this segment.
Fine.
He sounds like when you ask a girl, what's wrong? Nothing, I'm fine.
Right.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Like, okay. All right. I'm not fine. What are you doing?
Anyways, the British accent thing, I think that's just you.
Yeah, probably.
Because
I'm weird like that.
I personally don't know, like, whether an actor is American, British, French.
Yeah, but you said you didn't know Tom Hardy was British.
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Cup of tea and pinky up and all that
I
shit.
don't
Yeah, totally.
follow
Yeah.
many of the celebrities. I don't follow hardly any celebrities. Like when they're out doing
You
their...
don't want Brad and Angelina to get back together again? What?
I could care less.
I don't even know what's going on in tabloids anymore.
But like
Me
I
neither.
don't follow celebrities when they do. I don't watch award shows. I don't watch interviews often. Typically what I see is I like read articles, and so it's hard to capture somebody's voice in an article. Or I see them in the movies and then they kind of play the same kind of character where they don't have that accent.
Mhm.
So I don't really know the accents and stuff. So I
She's
think
like,
that's just you.
like one way or another, like I can't tell the difference.
Yeah,
But
I feel like I'm pretty good on catching that.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I mean, it's a Sony movie, so that already makes me not too excited.
What kind of runners does Sony have? They got,
and this has got to be something connected to Marvel, though.
I'm sure.
Because I don't, unless this is an indie comic or
Could
something.
be.
I'm like, I don't know how Sony would be making this if it's not something related to the Spider-Man characters that they got. Or it's an indie thing, one of the two. So I mean, who knows?
I would
but-
say I could talk to my comic guy.
Okay, yeah, find out for me. You think I would have researched this beforehand, but no.
He's got he's got a whole wall of non-Marvel comics in his shop. So I might have to peek in
Yeah,
in between now and
See
next
if we can
week and
find
see
out.
if I can
like, tell me about Bloodshot.
see what he knows.
Right. Or his
And
eyes
then,
will get big. And
I'm pretty
sure.
sure that Sexy Lexi's itching for another Riverdale comic, so
All right.
might have to go in
You watch
there.
the show?
Yes.
I'll say. There you go,
Hardcore.
Stork. There you go. Somebody else who likes Riverdale besides you.
She loves Riverdale, even though she won't put her Riverdale case on her phone.
Yeah.
I don't want
It's
to break
okay.
it.
I was gonna
Like,
say,
if I
we-
break it, I'm going to cry. And I drop my phone 24/7.
That's why I bought you a case.
I know, but if I break it, I'm going to cry.
It was $1. I'll order you another one.
I only put it on when I go to sleep.
Mm.
So I won't drop it.
I'm gonna look real quick because
It's gonna bother you.
no. Yes, but
It's fine.
not that. Right. It's fine.
fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Forever an inside joke now.
Right. I know. Right. Somebody's gonna be like, "Why do you keep saying that?" Like, "Oh, it's a thing on this podcast."
Yeah.
Okay, so it's coming out in February
Yes.
of next year.
So very soon.
yeah.
February's not a good month for movies.
I know. I was gonna say, like,
We have a lot of shit coming out in February, and February really is not a good month for movies. Like April, May is usually a prime season. Halloween is usually a prime season.
But superhero movies seem to do okay in February.
Deadpool
and Black Panther both came out in February.
Black Panther was on February?
It's Black History Month. You goddamn right it came out in February.
You right. That makes sense.
It's like,
yeah.
what, in February?
Shit, at least I think I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. February is Black History Month.
No.
Oh.
Yes.
No, that Black Panther came out in February.
Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You're missing what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Oh, you have a swipey thing?
Yes, it is February.
Yes.
February 16th, 2018 is when it came out.
Swipes this way.
Yeah. I don't
Can't do that. I can't do
typical
that.
type. But anyway, so get your tickets ready. I don't know if they're pre-sale or whatever.
Probably
for
not.
Bloodshot, I guess. It's fine.
It's
Oh
fine.
God.
It's okay. It's fun.
Moving on.
It's fine.
Bloodshot was created by Kevin Van Hook, Don Perlin, and Bob Layton for Valiant Comics. The character's name was suggested by artist David Lustek. The character first appeared in 3 panels on the last page of Eternal Warrior number 4, November 1992.
Good morning, Vietnam.
I'm sorry. Most of
Nope.
our listeners are probably too young to even get that.
Probably get that joke.
Lexi is looking at us like, what the fuck?
But welcome back to another installment of Mike's Mostly Movie News. I am your incredulous host, Mike C. Squared. And this week we have a few stories that I thought the listeners might find interesting. So unless you are not really into video games or have been living under a rock for the past week, BlizzCon 2019 ended over the weekend, and
Must be under a rock.
Yep, under a rock. Living under a rock. But there were a few announcements that came out of BlizzCon and a little bit of controversy as well. So we'll cover the controversy first. So the president of Blizzard, J. Allen Brack, walked onto stage to address the controversy surrounding Blizzard's decision to ban a Hearthstone player and 2 Taiwanese casters. A month ago, Hearthstone Grandmaster BlitzChung, I am not going to try to pronounce his actual name because it's really hard, but we're going to just go by his gamer tag, which is BlitzChung, openly called for Hong Kong's freedom from China while wearing a mask during a post-match interview. Brack addressed this at the opening of the con, and he said, "We moved too quickly in our decision-making, and then, to make matters worse, we were too slow to talk with all of you." Brack admitted, "When I think about what I'm most unhappy about, there's really 2 things. The first one is that we didn't live up to the high standards that we set for ourselves, and the second is that we failed in our purpose. And for that, I am sorry, and I accept accountability." As you walk around this weekend, Brack said, "I hope it's clear how committed we are to everyone's right to express themselves in all kinds of ways and all kinds of places." Now, what he's referring to at the very end there is there were some protesters outside the convention because they were pissed off about Blizzard banning BlitzChung. I think it started for a year, and they took away all his money that he won in the tournament. But then they turned around and gave him his money back and then lowered the suspension to 6 months. But, surprise, surprise, they are not actually going to lift his suspension totally, so he will still be suspended from Hearthstone for the next 6 months. R.I.P. BlitzChung, because it's going to be hard to come back from a 6-month hiatus, bro. But we'll see what happens with it. Also, during the con, they announced a expansion for World of Warcraft. It's called Shadowlands. It releases next year and will take players to an alternate realm of death and decay, where they must choose one of several factions to align with to fight against Sylvanas. Shadowlands.
What's your anus?
Right, I know. What about anus? Shadowlands will implement sweeping changes to most of WoW's current systems and progression. Some of the changes include a squish level cap of 60 and new in-game dungeons that are basically self-enclosed roguelike. Jeez.
Huh?
A roguelike is basically a dungeon that each time you go there, it changes. So, like, the map changes, the different enemies that you fight changes, and dungeons, for those who don't play RPGs or, MMOs and stuff like that, it's like a final boss stage.
Okay.
And you have to go there with... Usually games like that, you can play solo for a while, but you have teams that you play with you. And in this case, you would need help to beat the dungeon because you can't do it alone.
It's probably why I never really got into games like that. Because when I play video games, I like to play not necessarily on a team with anybody.
Yeah, you want to go run off and...
Well, no, like I play like things where you have to go head to head, but I don't want to be on a team with people when I'm playing video games.
Fair enough.
That's if I want to even go head to head against anybody other than a computer. Like,
so, note to listeners: do not go on a raid with DJ Melly Mel.
Yeah.
Also, the thing that we thought that was going to be announced that definitely was going to get announced was Diablo 4. It is definitely going to be a true sequel to Diablo 2. It's all about satanic rituals, occult symbols, and lots of blood.
They skipped 3?
No, there was a 3. 3 came out in 2012.
How is 4 a sequel to 2?
Because 3 was kind of a diversion from what they had been doing up until that point. It was a lot more colorful and light, and this is going back to basics, so to speak, going back to,
so they're skipping 3. Gotcha.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
That's all I needed to know.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
And, you made me lose my fucking spot. No,
You're talking about Diablo 4.
Satanic rituals, symbols, and lots of blood. Blizzard opened BlizzCon with a trailer setting up the story, and then a few minutes of gameplay footage. It's going to be a non-linear story set in an open world that you can explore at your own risk. But surprise, surprise, there will be no offline mode, which they started doing in Diablo 3, and they will not be releasing it anytime soon. And then the final bit of news that came out of BlizzCon is Overwatch 2 is in development with a focus on co-op and new PvE modes. There are story missions and hero missions in which you will be able to level up your heroes. And Overwatch 2's PvP, new maps and heroes will be coming to Overwatch 1 as well, which is kind of weird because basically when the second game comes out for the PvP stuff, like player versus player, like maps and characters, you can play with on the first game. So it's kind of like, well, why do I want to buy the second game if I get most of the stuff
on the first game?
Yeah, which, whatever, who knows. But they said all of your skins and cosmetics you've earned in Overwatch will carry over to the sequel, so you won't lose anything, which is nice. So, like, any, like, gear, like, cosmetically at least.
Sure.
For your character that you might have purchased or earned or whatever, will carry over to the second game, which I thought was neat.
That is cool.
All right, next story. Jason Momoa says that Aquaman will not be meeting Batman. So, the DC Extended Universe has taken some interesting turns, we'll say, this year, particularly with Robert Pattinson becoming our new Batman. And that does not mean, though, that Pattinson and Jason Momoa will be crossing paths anytime soon. Apparently he was talking to Entertainment Tonight, and he said that it would be awesome if, Batman and Aquaman, this new Batman, met each other. But he said that I don't think it's going to go that way. Let's just let them do their thing, and I'll do my thing. So I'm assuming that basically means
that it's
we're
another
going to pretend that
standalone
Justice
movie.
League didn't exist.
Yep.
We're going to pretend that Batman vs. Superman didn't happen. We're going to pretend that Man of Steel didn't happen. And we're just going to pretend that Aquaman and Wonder Woman happened and everything else is just out the window.
I mean, which
is fucking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but
like, y'all made 3 movies and we just going to pretend like ain't none of them happened? Like, all right.
I went back and watched Justice League recently.
Sure.
I will admit that on air. However, watching Justice League and watching the Aquaman movie, there were so many retcons.
Oh, yeah. They changed a bunch of shit.
Like, Aquaman by itself is a good standalone movie. Wonder Woman by itself is a good standalone movie.
Sure.
Justice League didn't do anything for either of them story advancements, nor was Justice League a good movie. So the fact that we're gonna have... This is how Warner Brothers is gonna be set up. We are going to have standalone movies, but, no... What's the word? What's the word I want? No,
there's no continuity between the movies.
Yeah. There's no...
cohesion or anything.
That's it, right there. There is no cohesive plan.
Right.
Like, there is no cohesive universe.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
It started off as a universe. Well, no, it started off as a standalone movie that they tried to turn into a universe that they then turned around and said, okay, we're not doing that.
It just works better as a standalone movie.
But it's like, but you're carrying over three characters. You're carrying over Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Harley Quinn, as far as we know, plus whoever else is going to be in the new Suicide Squad, to the new universe. And that's, or the new not universe. So I'm like, so no, we're pretending that Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, Suicide Squad.
Yep.
And I feel like something else was in there too. No, I think that was it. Oh, it didn't happen. So only Aquaman and Wonder Woman. They never met Batman. They never met Superman.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Anyway.
Next story.
Yeah.
So Peyton Reed will come back to direct the third Ant-Man movie for Marvel. Although Ant-Man and the Wasp are sitting out of Marvel's Phase 4, unfortunately, because they did not make any announcements about that. Apparently they are coming back for Phase 5. Hollywood Reporter said...
How do you miss Phase 4 but not Phase 5?
I don't know. But the director will be returning to direct Ant-Man 3. Originally, he took over the first Ant-Man from the original director, Edgar Wright, when he had creative differences. I always love that term. With Marvel in 2018. Reed returned for the sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So...
I think at this point, you just... Whoever's directing things at Marvel, Mr. Feige, you just don't go against what he says.
Pretty much. Man.
Like, he is Marvel God. Like, Marvel Gold just flows from his fingers.
God
he's the Marvel God, and Marvel Gold flows from his fingers.
You're goddamn right.
So, what he says goes.
Yes, very much so.
You can take your creative thoughts and basically shove them up your ass, because...
Yeah, pretty much. Because, I mean, in retrospect, some people say the Marvel movies are formulaic, or they kind of seem samey, or whatever. To a degree, I can kind of see the argument to a degree. I don't agree with it, but I understand why you might say that. But, looking back at what they've done, whatever they're doing, let them keep doing it.
Look at... We just talked about Warner Brothers, like 35 seconds ago.
Right.
Marvel. Marvel is a cohesive 22 movie empire.
Right.
And counting empire. Warner Brothers has 2 good standalone movies and nothing else.
Pretty fucking much, yeah.
3 if you count 89 Batman.
Yep.
So,
which I do. And
I
Batman
do.
Returns.
Yep,
so 4.
okay, so we have 4 that aren't even...
5 for you, because you like Forever, apparently. Anyway,
I like all 4 of the Batmans, but whatever. Either which way, it's not... There's no way, shape, or form that is cohesive.
No.
Even if you look at the 4 Batmans, they're not cohesive at all.
No. 1 and 2 are, 3 and 4, no.
2 and 3 have nothing to do with each other.
Hell no.
And
they pretend that they're the same
but
Batman,
they're not.
But that is not the same Batman.
And then 3 and 4 are definitely not.
Hell no.
So
Robin's in it and Alfred's still, but that's the only thing that it's still the same.
Yeah, that's the only thing that carries, and for most people, it doesn't work.
I think Commissioner Gordon's still the same guy, too.
Yeah, Gordon's the same through all 4.
Okay.
He's the only one. And Alfred.
Yeah.
But, like, it doesn't work for Marvel, or it doesn't work for Warner Brothers.
I mean, they could have made it work, but they fucked it up.
Something works for Marvel, so apparently, as I said, Kevin Feige is the Marvel god, and gold flows from his fingers.
I think it could work with DC, but they needed a Kevin Feige. Not necessarily did they need him, but they needed one person to say, the buck stops with me, I'm overseeing all this shit, and I'm going to keep everything in its... You can say it's a box if you want, but...
I'm going to fire you for creative differences.
Yeah, it's like everything fits together. It's like you can go from movies like Iron Man, which was like a lower, like more down to earth. It was tech and machines and shit, but it wasn't like magic and all that, to Guardians of the Galaxy and everything in between, Doctor Strange and all that other shit. So it's like, but it all still fits. Right. It all works together. So he clearly knows what he's doing.
Yep.
But anyway, next story. And final story. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 got announced, and it will be coming in 2022. That's actually a perfect time to do it, actually. So if they don't do some kind of play on the year, that's a missed opportunity. I'm just putting it out there. After Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse became a massive success in 2018, a sequel was undeniably going to come. Now, the follow-up to the Oscar winner for Best Animated Motion Picture has a release date. Sony officially announced on its Twitter account that it will be coming out April 8th, 2022.
Okay, so this has got a couple of good things for it. First of all, it was an Oscar winner for Best Animated, so Martin Scorsese can go take that and shove it.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but Heath Ledger won an Oscar for the Joker, and a bunch of other shit's happened. So Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture, even though it didn't win, but still.
Yeah, but we have...
They're not cinema.
Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse.
Won an Oscar.
Mm-hmm. We have celebrities who have been trying for years.
Vin Diesel.
I was thinking like... fucking...
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, DiCaprio.
Oh, dang, yeah.
You ain't never get no Oscar, bitch.
Like, we have actors that have produced really good films, and they're still waiting for their Oscar. But Into the Spider-Verse got one, so, Anyway, I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, our shots fired. We feel you. We feel you. But that is it for Mike's Mostly Movie News. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week when I have another movie quote and or corny thing to say at the beginning. Until then, goodbye. All right, that is it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Make sure to show us some love, so go ahead and take your little fingers and hit that like, subscribe, give us a rate, follow us, review us, and all that shit.
And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or criticisms, or, you just want to say hi, you can email us at officialodlfg@gmail.com. You can also find us as a show on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. Myself, I am on Twitter at FroggyBeaver. And we are on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Jesus, every social media platform available. All you have to do is search for One Giant Leap for Geeks, and good chance is you will find us. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.